What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Physical Media Mac channel, formerly known as DVDs, Nuts, and Popcorn. I am your host, the Physical Media Mac. And yes, I know it's been a minute. I was on a long, extended vacation. I let my brother Tylord do a few videos in the interim. Now I'm back to talk about movies. So let's get started. Got kind of a weird day off. It's Monday. I usually don't have Monday off. We had the annual Christmas party at work, so I ended up working on Saturday and giving myself Sunday and Monday off. Now, I got a package here from my brother from another mother, Tylord. Link in the description to his channel. He's got a very similar channel to mine. He shows off movies, video games. And by the way, we're going to start probably adding to this channel. We're already adding the Tylord stuff, so also I'm going to be showing off some of the games that I've been playing recently in future videos. All right, package from Tylord. First off, a movie that I actually knew about from doing research on killer insect films. And so I've actually been wanting to watch this. So this was perfect for him to send this to me. Bug. This is a cockroach movie, killer cockroach film. It says fury, hunger, and unstoppable prey. They don't, Jesus Christ, I can't even read that. It says fury, hunger, and then fury, fire. Is it fiery, hungry, and unstoppable? Is fiery a word? It's fury, right? Fury, hunger, hungry, and unstoppable. I feel like that's not a complete sentence. Pray they don't invade your house. Yes, I love my killer insect films, guys. So the gimmick with this film is, I think this happened during the, what was it, the San Francisco earthquake, if I remember correctly. And the ground opens up and these cockroaches that have been inside of the earth come out. And the gimmick with these cockroaches is somehow they are able to create fires. So it's quite hilarious. They're like killing people. They're blowing up cars, getting inside the tailpipes of cars and causing fires and stuff. And then this one scene, a cockroach attaches itself to a lady's ear and almost kills her, catches the side of her face on fire. There's another one where it catches a whole, it's literally catching people on fire. This is a strange film, guys. I mean, it is really an odd one. It drags a lot. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It does drag, like the middle section of this movie. And I didn't know what was going on. Like I guess you'd call him the protagonist, the guy who's like trying to study these cockroaches. He just turns into this loner and goes to this cabin in the woods, and he's got one of the cockroaches with him, and he's got someone from the school built him like a compression chamber to put the cockroaches in. And I just thought he was just the weirdest of actors and just like a weird dude and stuff. But I guess it's like his journey into madness that you see in the film. And but anyway, he ends up mating these cockroaches from the center of the earth to a regular house roach. And I won't give up the ending and stuff, but you know, there's some repercussions because of that. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, I think at one point the cockroaches, they start spelling words and shit. Like, it's so hilarious. We live. Yeah, this is a bizarre film, but one that I'm happy to put on the shelf next to my other killer cockroach films, man. This definitely deserves a spot. So, yeah, man, check that out if you're into killer cockroach films. All right, next up here. This is just a bad film. And most killer rats are terrible films, but I still get some enjoyment out of them. And I haven't finished watching this one, but I think I'm like an hour into it. So I pretty much got the gist of it. And yeah, it's a bad film, but it's fun. I mean, I love the premise of it. Garbage workers go on strike, so trash is mounting up and rats are out of control. And, you know, they're taking over the city. Is this in New York? I can't remember. But just a cheesy-ass film, Revenge of the Rats. Evil Underground. It's not a very good, what is it called? The, why am I forgetting what the name of those words on the, not teasers, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. The first film didn't have a good one, that one didn't have a good one either. But anyway, yeah, Revenge of the... Tylord knows I love my killer rat films, so this definitely goes on the shelf. I won't get rid of it. And, yeah, I mean, I don't... You know, the rats, they did have practical rats in it. The CGI so far seemed like it was pretty good when they did use CGI. It wasn't too bad. But this is like an Israeli film, if I remember correctly. And I think all the language has English dubbing that is really bad. But, yeah. All right, so Tylord knows my taste, man, so thank you for hooking that up. Now, I'm really getting into the Sega CD because I have the Pioneer Laser Active, which is like the greatest Frankenstein console ever created. And it's such a historic console and such an epic piece of electronic history that, you know, I'm trying to show it some love and play some Sega CD games on it. And so I'm starting to get into that. We'll talk about Vey. I started playing Vey today. It's a pricey Sega CD RPG game that doesn't really get enough love from reading comments on some YouTube videos of some playthroughs. Now, Tylord sent me a Sega CD game, which is pretty badass, and it's called Prize Fighter. And yeah, man, this is he's a big fan of it, and I did play this. I played about 30 minutes of it today, and I got my ass kicked. Oh, you can see one of the discs is in my Pioneer Laser Active right now. It comes with 2 discs for some reason. So Sega CD had a lot of crappy FMV. This does have crappy FMV in it. The FMV is like really grainy. You have to get used to it. But this has, you know, like it does a really good job of, you know, taking you like you're a boxer in first person and you're walking to the ring and reporters are asking you questions and, you know, a handicap fan is like rooting you on and you get in the ring and you fight first person. I got my ass kicked, man. So I couldn't even get past the first guy. I am 0-2 right now. I think I'm 0-3 right now. This guy, Honey, what is his name? Honey something or another. He just keeps whooping my ass, man. Like he's knocked me out 3 times now. I don't know what the deal is. So I ended up checking this thing that it was unchecked training. So hopefully that'll help me out and I'll figure out what's going on here. I just realized like it's like basically you press the A button, left hook, B button, right hook. I don't know if I figured out uppercut yet, but then you press like the C button and you hold your hands up to block. And then I just figured out that when you use the right and the left diagonal, you actually kind of move around the ring. So I'm still getting used to the nuances of the movement and stuff and the techniques and the punching and everything. But yeah, man, cool game, Prize Fighter. And really nice of him to send me this. This is in really nice shape, too. Well, there's no cracks on it or anything. So I'm sure I'll get better at this. I can't remember if you said it was hard or not, but yeah, man, I'm getting my ass kicked in this game. Trust me. Look forward to playing it and trying to master it like a, you know, like Mike Tyson's Punch Out back in the day. All right, where are we at here? 10 minutes. I got to move on. I only got 40-something minutes on my phone. All right, I've watched a ton of movies, man. Let's get to this shit right now. Trying to get through it. Well, first off, let's go through this stuff right here. I picked this up just because I think it's cool, man. Any kind of factory sealed, old school Friday the 13th DVDs, I'm picking up and I'm not going to open them. I don't know. These are definitely not the first releases because these are widescreen. The first releases are going to be a full screen. But these are probably the first edition widescreen releases. And they're all factory sealed here. So we have, where does this start? Oh, part 3. Friday the 13th, part 3. Quite possibly my favorite Friday the 13th movie of all time. Got somebody over here exercising, I guess. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. This is the one with Corey Feldman in it. Really solid Friday the 13th film. And then another one of my favorites, man. Some people have still not come around on this one. I just don't understand it. It's one of the funnest Friday the 13th for sure. And that's part 5. The Friday the 13th. It does not have Jason in it. Just like the first one, except, of course, young Jason at the end jumping out of the lake. But, yep, no Jason in this one, but still enjoy this one as much as most of the other ones, man. It's really a solid one. And then the one that has a little bit too much cheesiness for me, it's still good. Friday the 13th, part 6. All factory sealed. I paid $2 for each of those, man. I thought that was really cool. So I wanted to show that off. Let's show off what I picked up today, and then we'll get into some of the stuff that I've watched recently. All right, grew up on these films. I needed it for the collection. I think this is worth a little bit of money, actually. Short Circuit 1 and 2. Double header here. Yeah, who doesn't love the Short Circuit movies, man? Super solid. Guttenberg and Ali Sheedy. I like seeing Ali Sheedy. She's going to be in another movie, Man's Best Friend. But, of course, she's famous for Breakfast Club. It was nice seeing her in other films. And I don't know if Guttenberg is in part 2 or not. I can't remember. Or Sheedy. That back there. I think Uwe Boll, was it Uwe Boll who did House of the Dead 1? Don't quote me on that, but I think that's true. And supposedly, this is supposed to be a bad film too, but so bad that it's kind of good. Hopefully is what I'm wanting here. And this is House of the Dead 2. And I think in one of the videos Tylord was talking about, he was joining. He was buying cases that have 2 disc trays in them, so that you could put the art for the video games that are movie video games, and then put the video game disc in it along with the movie disc to combine them, which is a really cool idea. So hopefully Tylord has the Dreamcast version of House of the Dead 2. I don't remember what other console it came out on, so I can send this his way. But, yeah, I thought this was cool. It's got the guy from, what is his name? Oh, Sid Haig is in this. Which I thought was pretty badass. Began with a Bang and didn't let up till the end. Oh, that's just a quote. All right. I don't know. Might be good. Who knows? Might be bad. All right, I've been really getting into Bosworth films. I didn't realize how many films this guy was in. And this is basically Air Force One with Brian Bosworth. This is a 2001 film, Mach 2. And, yeah, so, you know, they're on Air Force One, basically. And, you know, he was hired to protect a presidential candidate. And his presidential candidate has, I guess, a floppy disk with some information against the guy he's running, like some crucial information that'll lock the other presidential candidate up and, you know, really ruin the guy's life. And so that guy sends these terrorists. These terrorists take over. They're like undercover. They're playing like they work for the CIA, and they're on the plane with Brian Bosworth, but it turns out that they're terrorists, and they do some real dickish shit. They take the floppy disk, and they all have parachutes and stuff, so they kill a few people. They jump out of the plane and leave Brian Bosworth and others in the plane, and they don't know how to fly a plane. So, yeah, it's pretty effed up. So that's the thing. Brian Bosworth has to land the plane and save everybody on the plane. I think this is a made-for-television film. It's pretty good. It's not too bad, man. I actually got some enjoyment out of it. Hopefully I did that some justice. Now let me get a sip here. I think out of everything I watched in the last month or so, watched a lot of stuff, even out of town. The Secret Force. Purchased this one, I think, off of Amazon. This was a 1995 film. I feel like this hit and missed the mark for me. It's got Jeff Weston in it. He's been in a few cheesy B films. And I don't know, man. I think it's so convoluted. I did not understand the story. So Jeff Weston's character was in Vietnam, and his, not crew, his lieutenant, his what is it called? That military group, whoever he was with. I'm trying to express here. I don't know what they're called. This is gonna drive me nuts. His infantry, I don't know what it's called. You know what I'm talking about. Whoever he was with, his guys in the military that he was the closest with, for whatever reason, the government, as they got out, like, planted some kind of mind control things in them. I don't know why they selected them. And one by one, these guys go crazy. They actually go postal. Like the one guy in the beginning of the film, he shoots up a diner and kills everyone in the diner, women, children, everybody. And then, so Jeff Weston's character finds out that this happened and starts, investigating to see what's going on. And all of a sudden, these secret, like the CIA starts, talking to him and asking him, does he know what's going on? They're looking into it. I don't know. This is one of the most confusing films. It is, I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's not, I'll probably keep it, but I don't know. It was a strange friggin' film. What is that called when you serve with people? You serve with people. What is that called? Your crew? It's not your crew. It's your command, your combatants, God, it's gonna drive me crazy. All right, gotta get moving here. All right, really cool triple feature here. Man, bad Ice T movies, man, are kind of my thing, man. I'm not going to lie. I really love watching some bad Ice T films. Now, one of these films I've never seen before. The other two I have seen. Mean Guns is, this is a really cool triple feature. Mean Guns is an Albert Pun film with Ice T and Christopher Lambert. It's a really good film. Really enjoy that one. And then Body Count has Alyssa Milano, Ice T, Zeus is in there, Tony Liston. It's not that good, but I still get some enjoyment of it. I need to check it out again. I feel like I'm too harsh on it sometimes. Stealth Fighter is a film that I have not seen. It's a 1999 flick, and it stars Ice T, obviously. Ernie Hudson, we'll talk about him in a little while. I'm a big fan of Ernie Hudson. Love him in films. Costas Mandylor, which I was not familiar of. Apparently, he's been in a bunch of the Saw films. He's the main antagonist in Stealth Fighter, or protagonist. Ice-T's the antagonist. Also, the beautiful Erica Aleniak, hopefully I'm saying that right, is in this film. She's super hot. And she plays the protagonist's wife. Andrew Divoff is a lesser talked about great villain. He always plays like a drug cartel leader or a terrorist. And of course, he is the Dream Master. He's the villain in the Dream Master films. He's a Dream Master himself. So really cool actor. He's got like the cratery face, you know, not to make fun of him or anything, but super great villain in films. Man, Stealth Fighter is actually a good film. I'm getting a text from work right now. I'm going to have to stop recording this in a second. We'll do a jump cut. But yes, Ice-T he works for the Air Force. He fakes his death and starts working for this cartel leader who's played by Andrew Divoff, and Ice-T steals a stealth bomber. And so now they're threatening to bomb bomb the White House and bomb all these important places in the United States if they don't get all this money, and I think get terrorists released from prisons in the United States. And man, it is I got a lot of enjoyment out of this one, man. It is hilariously funny, man. Seeing how Ice-T's flying around in a stealth bomber. You know he's not really flying around in one, but they do a good job of making it seem like he is. And yeah, man, good shit, man. I actually enjoyed that one. Surprisingly enjoyed that a lot more than I thought I was. And it's not on one disc either, man. Really nice. 3 disc. Good shit, man. Check this out, man. Pick this up if you can. All right, I'm going to pause. All right, I think the terminology I was trying to use earlier for military was battalions. Your battalion, whatever battalion you served with. Could not think of that for some reason. And then, you know, the little phrases on the front of movies is taglines, of course. All right, speaking of Ali Sheedy earlier with Short Circuit, I don't believe that I've seen this before. I knew about it, and yeah, this is definitely one of the best killer dog films. Stars this Rottweiler and Lance Henriksen. Obviously, Lance Henriksen's like a they're working for. He's like a scientist, or yeah, I guess you could say he's like an animal scientist. And he works at this lab, and they're trying to, they're doing all these tests, you know, these inhumane tests on monkeys and dogs. And, but you don't know really if Lance Henriksen's a bad guy or a good guy at first, because I think he even says it in the film. He's like, well, we have to just do this to animals because we're trying to save humans. And, so there's like 2 sides to him. You don't really know, how to feel about him at first. And, but anyway, this Rottweiler ends up, breaking out of this lab, and Ali Sheedy's character finds the dog, and, Lance Henriksen has to track this dog down, because after the medicine that they've been giving this dog wears away, then the dog is going to start killing everybody. And the Ali Sheedy obviously doesn't realize this. So again, it's like you don't know, is Lance Henriksen trying to save the situation, or is he trying to do the dog harm? Ali Sheedy's, that's what she's faced with in the film. And so, yeah, really good film, 1993 movie. And yeah, man, happy to put this on the shelf next to the other killer dog films. Ranks up there with the top films. And yeah, man, the Rottweiler's a badass in this film. Cool stuff, man. Check that out if you've not seen that one. All right. A movie that I started watching a long time ago, but for whatever reason just got off of it and started watching something else and never went back to it. Recently, I've been hearing people talk really good about it, so I wanted to go back and see it. And I'm glad I did, because it is a good film. It does not come without its problems, and but it's a good film. I like, it's a little bit crazy, because it's like, I like the character. It's like an evil Santa Claus. That character's cool. Some of the other like side characters I could kind of do without, but what's the lady? I'm gonna forget her name. She was in oh man, I'm definitely gonna forget her name. She was in a witch movie that I really freaking like, and she could have won like an Academy Award for that film. I'm not gonna think of the name of it right now, but she didn't play like a super big part in this one, so you didn't really get to see her acting chops. But she's a really good actor. Got a lot of respect for her. And what was that movie that was out where the special needs kid is out at a party with her brother and eats some food, and she's allergic to something that's in the food, and she's about to hyperventilate in the back seat when he's driving her home, and she sticks her head out the window and it hits a column and takes her head off. And it's basically a film about witches, and I can't think of the name of it. It's one of my favorite 2000 and on horror films, along with The Witch itself, but it's not called The Witch. It's a different film. But anyway, I'm getting off point here. Krampus, yeah, man, good shit, man. I enjoyed it. Great holiday horror film to watch around Christmas time. All right, a film I've only looked at the beginning of it. When I read up on it, it seemed pretty badass, because I'm into like cyborg films and android films and stuff like that. Very disappointed to see this as a PG-13 film, though, at the beginning. I'm like, what? This does not seem like it would be a PG-13 film. Really have not been a big fan of his over the years. I mean, I can do without him, but I don't know. The beginning was okay. I never hear anybody talk about this, so it says it has an alternate ending. What's the guy's name? Ving Rhames? No, not Ving Rhames. What am I thinking Ving Rhames for? He's in all the Fast and the Furious films. He was also in Pitch Dark. Sorry, these glasses I cannot read in like my other sunglasses. Anyway, y'all know who it is. I got tricked thinking that this was an actual DVD, but it's just like a cardboard sleeve, which is really unfortunate. I'll probably have to track down some of these films. I've seen Malevolent before. It's okay, man. I'm a big fan of Lou Diamond Phillips. I did like it, man. It kind of got off track, though. The beginning was really good, and I could do without the rest of the film. And but the reason why I picked this one up is because of a movie called Street Corner Justice that has a young Bryan Cranston that plays a priest, and it has one of my favorites, man, from the Beastmaster films, Mark Singer, and I really want to explore his filmography Although he's so dry in this film, I'm not gonna lie. But I don't know, man. I still like him. I still think he does a good job. He just kind of has kind of a wooden Chuck Norris type of personality, and you know, acting non-ability. I don't know, but I don't want to be too harsh on him. I like the dude. But anyway, yeah, Street Corner Justice, and this film came out in 1996. Again, stars Mark Singer, Bryan Cranston, Clint Howard's in the film. Obviously, Ron Howard's brother. Tommy Lister. I think I said Tony Liston earlier. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Tommy Lister, who plays, you know, obviously Zeus in Friday. But he's in it. Now, reading a review on IMDb about this film, I don't know if this is true, but this is someone who was a cast member or a crew, not a cast member like they're on an island, a crew member on the film. And on the IMDb review, he says that, let me see. Basically, he says that the producers of this film illegally left town directly after this movie was shot, and without paying countless people that worked on the film, including crew members, actresses, police officers, not volunteers, but just a cast of characters they did not pay. So some corrupt bullshit going on. And he also mentioned that early on in the film, there's a rape scene where Clint Howard's a homeless guy, and he's raping this young chick inside of a dumpster. Well, apparently it was in a real dumpster with like real trash, and they made this poor actress do this scene over and over and over again. I guess it was like freezing cold outside, and she was naked, and so this guy had lots of bad stuff to say about the producers of this film. And let me see. Mark Singer plays a guy named Mike Justice in the movie, and he's an ex-Pittsburgh cop, because like he crossed the line. I guess he was going. I can't remember if he was working undercover. No, one of the guys on the police force was working undercover, and Mark Singer and his partner kicked the door in and started shooting like the criminals in this like drug house or whatever. And then the guy who was working undercover, he threw out a second-story window because he just lost control of himself. So anyway, he had to retire and was kicked off the force or whatever. And so anyway, in this, I guess he moves, and it's a little convoluted too, because like he's trying to sell a house somewhere, and he's trying to move out of this area, and there's gangs in the area. So he's having problems selling the house, or like putting graffiti on his house. And Bryan Cranston and some people from the community start like this group, you know, where they're walking around in like a kind of like a vigilante or anti like gang task force, walking around with picket signs and stuff like that, and talking to gang members and confronting them and stuff. And they're trying to get Mike Justice to help them, but he's reluctant to do it. He's just trying to get the hell out of town. And he ends up like getting some people that like he locked up in the past, Zeus in this Tommy Liston's character. And dude, Tommy Liston's character punches a guy to death in this effing film, man. It's so badass. And he feels so bad about it. He's like such a sensitive giant in the film, but he literally just punches a dude to death in the face. It's so brutal. But yeah, man, pretty good shit. Also in this is a movie called Spencer the Judas Goat. It's a terrible name for a film. And then there's a movie that has Gary Daniels in it that looks pretty good called Recoil, that I need to check out. All right, spent too long on that. All right, what do we got here? that over there. All right, got this double feature, man. I can't remember. I think I just read up on Forced to Kill, and it just looked good. Plus, I love movies with force in it or forced. I think at one point I was collecting movies with force in it. There's so many of them. What's the tagline on this? He had two options, fight or die. So this guy that I've never seen in films before is like a repo, works for like a repo company in this film. And he's just a badass in this small town. He's like, you know, he doesn't like start fights, but when he sees someone getting bullied or anything like that, he always, I think, you know what? I think, if I remember correctly, Clint Howard is actually in this film as well. Because he sees him getting bullied in the beginning of the movie. And it's these guys that are about to go into this bar. And I'm going to pause real quick. Sorry about that. All right, so, yeah, they're about to go into this bar. And they start bullying Clint Howard and shit, beating him up. And the young guy sees this and goes over there. And you're like, holy shit, he's got some Van Damme freaking moves, man. He's kicking everybody's ass and stuff. So this is a weird film. So this guy in the bar actually sees that, and you can tell he's like watching like really closely and you know, like studying everything, and you don't know what's going on with that. And then later on, he you know, he leaves and stuff, doesn't say anything to the guy, and the next thing you know, like two of the guys from that crew that he beat up are in this truck, and they see him. And they're like, I think they had weapons with them, and they end up jumping him with some other guys, and, you know, they tie him up or whatever, and then they bring him back to that older guy who was studying what was going on at the bar, and it turns out this guy is like this fight enthusiast and stuff, and all these like illegal like fight clubs that go on. He like, he puts his like sons in these fight, like, I can't remember if his sons fight in it. Maybe his sons fight in it. Yeah, I think one of his sons fights in it. But he's into this like illegal fight club type of deal. And he has the idea that he's going to take this guy who works for that repo company and who's a badass fighter. And they're going to like chain him up to a tree in the yard like a dog. It's really a weird film. And they got a daughter who's this hot chick, and she kind of feels for him. At one point, she like lets him escape, but they catch him again. And so anyway, he has to fight for this guy. And if he does, they end up, sorry, I'm kind of screwing this up. They end up kidnapping his girlfriend, and they say, if you don't fight, we're going to kill your girlfriend and stuff. And, but anyway, like they're like I said, they're chaining him up to a tree. They're like whipping him and beating him. They like train him. They make him train with guns on him, like in front of they're driving like behind him, and they'll shoot at his feet. They're like just tormenting this guy. And yeah, I thought it was a pretty good film. It's got also Crash Landing with Antonio Sabata Jr. and Michael Pierre in it as well, that I have to check out. I probably butchered talking about that, but irregardless. All right, I always consider this as like another Hercules film because it seems to me like Arnold Schwarzenegger almost plays the same character, even though it's not. It's a different character, but it just seems like another Hercules film. And this has Bridget Nielsen in it as well. Red Sonja. 1985's Red Sonja. And this is a fun sword and sandals film. And it's got a young, like, I don't know if he's Japanese kid or in it or whatever. It kind of reminds me of The Golden Child. Like, The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy, I feel like took a lot of influence from this film. But he's like this emperor or young kid. He's like a teenager and stuff. So it's kind of cool. He's like with Bridget Nielsen and Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he's got like this young emperor has like this muse who has to do everything he says and stuff. This overweight guy. And it's basically the four of them against this evil witch. I don't really feel like the evil or not, she's not an evil witch. She's like an evil queen and stuff. I wasn't blown away by the evil queen in this film, but yeah, it's good shit, man. If you love sword and sandals stuff, you'll definitely enjoy it. I'm trying to remember this. I've watched so many movies, guys. Okay, this is a 4-film sci-fi collector set. Now, okay, if you've never seen Stormtrooper, go see this right away. I've talked about it in the past. I'm not going to talk about it now. It's one of the best cyborg films of all time. You definitely got to check that out. I love the name of it. So the reason why I picked up this film was probably because it has Stormtrooper on there. I think I tried to watch Invader, if I remember correctly, and it was just too bad. I could not get through it. So scratch that one. Don't watch that. I have no idea about the code of conspiracy. It does not look very good. But I did get some fun out of The Sender. Okay, so The Sender is a 1998 PM Entertainment film. If you know PM Entertainment, it's got cheesy... They make cheesy action films. They're definitely worth you checking out. A lot of them are low budget. I consider them low budget canon. You know, like the early canon stuff. They're like a low budget example of that. Now, this stars Michael Madsen, which I'm a big fan of. I like him in films. Obviously, Reservoir Dogs and countless other films. It also has R. Lee Ermey, which I love, from Full Metal Jacket. He was also in a couple of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre films. And he always plays a great, just asshole of a guy in a film. And in this one, he does as well. There is a car chase sequence in this film, or a truck and car chase sequence in this film, where there's a truck with this like diesel trailer steals this this military jet that's been taken out of the ocean, and Michael Madsen jumps in his car and chases this fucking vehicle. While he's driving, jumps out the window, jumps onto the flatbed of the truck. It is one of the best, cheesiest, greatest action sequences I've ever seen in my movie. I love everything about it. It's probably the best sequence that PM Entertainment has ever done, and it's made me fall in love with this film. This movie definitely goes downhill after a while, but the beginning of this film is phenomenal. I recommend checking it out just for that. And it goes in some weird directions with spirits and alien life forms, and it goes definitely off the tracks, but it's got a really cool PM Entertainment explosives throughout the film, and lots of car wrecks and cars getting destroyed. Typical PM Entertainment shit. All right, let's get into the next film, which is probably the best film I've seen out of all of these, which says a lot. I absolutely adored this film. Now, those of you that are fans of, when the director does a, what is it called? What is me with what is it called? So much stuff I can't think of the name of. It's unbelievable. You know how, like in the special features where the director talks over the movie and kind of explains the movie? They got that in this. So I did start watching some of that, which was kind of interesting because the director was like, oh, I forgot that happened. It seemed like she hadn't seen the movie probably in 20-something years, which I think was true. But anyway, wow. Suburbia. This is a Roger Corman film. This is an incredible film, man. It's one of my favorite friggin' movies. This is from 1983. I thought this was a very powerful movie, man. Like, it really stays with you after you watch it. And it's so sad, like in the beginning of this film. Ultimately, this is about young kids who run away from homes, orphans, that band together through the punk rock scene And it's one of the best movies of that kind of ilk that I've ever seen. And it's a street movie, you know, the bottom line, it's just a street film, a white street film. And in the beginning of this movie, this girl you can tell she's left home. She's homeless. She's hitchhiking. And this lady drops her off so she can use one of those old school payphones where you go into a payphone. And she's got a young daughter, you know, like can't be like more than like 3 years old, you know, real young kid, right? So it's late at night, and they're outside the phone booth, and all of a sudden they see this vicious Doberman pinscher, and it starts growling, and you can see the little girl's like staring at it, like, what's going on, you know? And all of a sudden the Doberman pinscher attacks, and it's brutal, vicious killing of this young girl, just mauls her to death. It's really like disturbing freaking scene. And that's how the movie basically starts off, and you're like, holy shit. And man, I'm a big fan of killer dog films. I almost want to put this in the killer dog film category, not just because of that sequence, but also that the whole story behind that. And I think it was true at the time, like this dog training facility in California at the time had closed down, and a lot of the dogs were let loose or something of that nature. So it's almost like you're in a third world country or a post-apocalyptic landscape where all of these Doberman pinschers and German shepherds that are highly trained, killer protective dogs are on the loose, man, and they're hunting in packs throughout the film. So along with being homeless, having to worry about the police and have to worry about, getting picked up by the police, you also have to worry about if they're traveling by themselves, these packs of dogs mauling them and stuff. But yeah, man, it has some really deep stuff that happens in this film, real touching moments. And I felt like it's one of those films where you feel like you're a fly on the wall watching real kids and not actors. Flea is in this film from Red Hot Chili Peppers, a young Flea. I don't know if it's like pre-Chili Peppers or what, or at the beginning of the Chili Peppers, but he's pretty young in this film. And he's really good in it, man. I really enjoyed this, man. Probably the best film that I can recommend to you guys, 1983 Suburbia. Check it out. All right, let's run through the rest of these pretty quick here. What do we got here? I don't have to talk about this one, man. Everybody knows this. Believe it or not, I do not have this on physical media, so I had to pick it up. For me, it's better than part 2. It's my favorite. Came with the paperwork. Enough said. Okay, by mistake, I still got to log my DVDs on some kind of app. Let me know below if there's a really good free app I can do that on. I'm tired of picking up things for the second time. I actually ordered this online, and now I'm picking up for a second time. So let me know, Tylord, if you need this. I don't think you do. I think you have it. But if you're missing either one of these, I'll send it to you. I want to say I saw you pick this up, though. Omega Doom and Blind Fury, just classic Rutger Hauer films. Again, these are dupes for me. Also, another dupe that I think Tylord sent me, although this is in a lot better shape. A lot of that stuff he picks up is really sticker, heavy, has stickers all over it. This is a lot better condition. Universal Soldier: The Return. A film that I've not yet seen. There's a lot of these Universal Soldiers. This has Michael Jai White in it. Also looks like it might have Steve Austin. Is that Steve Austin? No, that's not Steve Austin. Anyway, I need to check that one out. I thought that I owned this on Laserdisc. I still really feel like I do, but I don't know. I cannot find it around the house. It's driving me nuts. So I had to pick this up. Brandon Lee, rest in peace. So crazy how they died. Both of them died like on film sets. It's so weird. Didn't they both die on film sets, or am I losing my mind? All I know is they both died way too young. This comes with a chapter insert. It's got some other Dimension films here. Added bonus. Cool shit. Okay, yeah. Death Race 2000, man. This is some good shit, man. I really enjoyed this. It's basically a death race where these cars are racing, and it's like it's televised, right? Where these races are televised, and you get points for like running over old ladies and kids and dogs with your car during the race. You're trying to win the race, but you get extra points for like killing people. And this has a young Sylvester Stallone in it. There's lots of like nudity in this film. It's got David Carradine, which I'm a big fan of. He's like this star racer. He's like the bad guy. And Stallone plays the young racer that's trying to dethrone him as the best racer. Definitely check that one out if you haven't, man. Cool. Hell, this has got to be 70s stuff, right? This is also produced by Roger Corman. I did not even realize that. Hold on, so I'm going to pause real quick. All right, guys, next up here, you know, there's a bunch of different Zodiac films. Obviously, the Fincher one is one of my favorites and most people's favorite Zodiac film. This is called The Zodiac, and this is not too bad at all, man. This is, it's pretty terrifying, man. Zodiac, obviously, no, I heard some reports that they kind of know who it is now or whatever, but the guy has already passed away, if it was even him. It's not 100% concrete or anything like that. So it's one of those stories where the Zodiac killer was never found. So, but anyway, this is not bad at all, man. I thought it was a pretty good one. All right, speaking of psychopath. All right, 3 more films, or actually 4 more films, and I'll let you guys go. This seemed interesting, so I picked it up at Goodwill, and I'm glad I did, man. Ernie Hudson is in this, and he plays an insane kind of character study where, you know, a guy's super lonely and stuff, and his neighbor, he's like so nice to her and stuff, buying her flowers, and, you know, he seems like the most gentle character in the world, and ends up being an absolute monster in the you find out in the end of this film without giving too much away. But yeah, Michael Pere's in this, and plays a guy really down on his luck and stuff. The film kind of follows him along, and he's trying to get his shit together. And it's one of those movies that kind of follows a few different characters, and their lives all intertwine in a final, you know, scene or climax in the movie inside of a diner. And shit gets pretty insane in this one. October 22nd, or October 22, when there's no tomorrow. This has Amanda Plummer in it as well. I'm not sure who Tate Donovan is. Amanda Plummer was in Pulp Fiction, when they robbed the diner. Speaking of diners, they robbed the diner in the beginning of, or not in the beginning, you know how that film's kind of forward, backwards, middle, it's kind of ass backwards. But when they're in the diner, she jumps up on the table and says, "I'm going to execute every one of you son of a bitches," or some shit like that. That's Amanda Plummer. She plays the girl that Ernie Hudson has a love interest in. Good shit, man. I'd recommend that one. All right, now, Let's do this one first. American Street Fighter with Gary Daniels. This is a 1992 film. Also stars Gerald Okamura. Yeah, Gerald Okamura. If anybody don't know who that guy is, he was in the Samurai Cop movies. He was also in Big Trouble in Little China. And so Gary Daniels' character's younger brother is played by Ian Jacklin, who's actually a former kickboxing champ. He was also in Kickboxing 3 and Deathmatch. Now, kind of an interesting film. American Street Fighter has Gary Daniels. Again, he's an older brother. They're both into the martial arts, him and his younger brother. But he leaves town and goes in, like, apparently, like, I don't know, goes into, like, some kind of business where he makes a bunch of money. He comes back, like, suit and tie. And, you know, the family he comes back to is blue collar, his mom, his brother, his sister. And, you know, they're barely making ends meet. So he comes back, like, kind of trying to shower everybody with money. His younger brother don't want to talk to him at all. Okamura's character has this illegal fighting deal set up. And, man, you talk about convoluted. This got some crazy... Let me just read the synopsis. It'll probably be a lot easier for me to do that. A new wave of crime is sweeping America, and a new crime lord is in charge. Ogawa, a deadly mastermind. He has conceived a plan to smuggle illegal contraband through dead bodies. Posing as a fight promoter, he recruits the toughest, most desperate fighters. Most of them are nameless and have nothing to lose, who won't be missed. Street Fighter Jake Tanner has disappeared from the U.S. for over 10 years, but now has returned to the country that he no longer recognizes. But when his brother is faced with the deadly forces of Ogawa, Tanner has no choice but to prepare for the battle of his life and the ultimate sacrifice. So it's basically him going against Ogawa and trying to save his younger brother. This movie goes into some places I didn't think it would, man, with some murders and stuff. And so kudos for it. And it's got a really cool battle, sword battle, almost like a samurai battle with Okamura and Gary Daniels' character at the end. Really cool climax, really cool ending to the film. Gary Daniels is a badass in this film, man. He's ultra fast, man. Lightning fast, like kicks and punches and stuff. You can really tell that he's a real badass in real life, man. Good shit, man. I would highly recommend it. This is a movie that I've never seen before. Stars John Barrett. Don't recognize him from anything. I've never seen him in another film. And then Keith Vitale. Now, American Kickboxer won 1991. Keith Vitale might sound familiar to you guys because he's a former #1 ranked full contact fighting champion. Brad Morris plays the bad guy in this film. It's kind of an unknown actor. Let me see. It says to read the synopsis on this, so I'm not going to be able to read. Probably with these glasses. Pulse-pounding action reigns supreme when international kickboxing champions John Barrett and Keith Vitale star this high-impact look behind the scenes of the professional fight game. BJ Quinn, Barrett, is the best of the world in the ring. Now he's sent to jail and suspended from fighting after a freak accident. Now, title-hungry Jax Denard, who's Brad Morris, who plays actually a pretty good bad guy, even though he's unknown and stuff, whose testimony clinches BJ's imprisonment is on the warpath. First, he pulverizes BJ's chief rival to the world, kickboxing title, Vitale. Then he publicly challenged BJ to the final showdown. the ultimate physical and spiritual test of the champion. Minds and bodies about to detonate. Grab your ringside seat. This is basically like a Rocky ripoff, but in the kickboxing world. And another thing about this film is they completely rip off like the beach oceanside training scenes with Apollo and Rocky, where they're running against each other and stuff and racing and like dancing in the ocean, like celebrating. It's 100% copies Rocky. It's so hilarious. And again, this is like a kickboxing Rocky film. I would recommend it, man. I got some good enjoyment out of it. And by the way, guys, this is a Canon film. So definitely check this one out. Really cool shit. So cool that I actually decided to buy, yes, guys, the Laserdisc, the sequel to that film, which is a little bit confusing. We'll get into that in a moment. Now, this guy was so late sending this shit to me that I don't know if he just put this extra Laserdisc in there, but it was kind of cool because it's actually something I'm into, because I'm really into cyborg films, and I'm into Gregory Hine films, at least Gregory Hine of the old. I don't know if he's still around, but used to watch a lot of Gregory Hine films growing up. But this is Eve of Destruction for free. And I only paid $10 for the other film I'm about to show you, which is Factory Seal, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, they gave her looks, brains, nuclear capabilities, everything but an off switch. Finally, a good tagline. Kind of looks like Gina Davis a little bit. But yeah, she's like a cyborg female chick, man. That cyborg female chick. Cyborg female. And I guess Gregory Hines has to stop her with his tap dancing ass. No, I don't know if he tap dances in this, but he's tap dancing in a few movies. He's also in Running Scared. All right, but that's not what this is about. The final film here, again, starring John Barrett. And what's crazy is American Kickboxer 2 that I've seen recently has nothing to do with American Kickboxer 1. They're not connected in franchise at all. The sequel is actually called To the Death. And this time it stars Michael Kissy, who I think was also, I could be wrong, starring international martial arts champion John Barrett, American Kickboxer 1, and Michael Chrissy of Kickboxer and Lionheart. To the Death tells a riveting story of a fearless kickboxing champ who battles for his life against a sadistic, powerful fight promoter, Rick Quinn. John Barrett, a world kickboxing title holder, decides to retire from the sport, only to be lured back in by Dominique Labarque, an evil, corrupt entrepreneur, when he discovers that Labarque's private kickboxing parties always end in the murder for pleasure of the losing fighter. Rick tries to extricate himself from Labarque's diabolic clutches, only to slip deeper and deeper into the madman's tangled web. With the help of former boxing nemesis, the explosive Denard, Michael Chrissy, and Labarque's beautiful but desperate wife, Angelica, Rick ultimately squares off with Labarque in the ultimate do-or-die showdown. Wow, I really butchered that. We're going to open this, because this is factory sealed, baby. That's how we do it. That's how the physical Media Mac does shit. Oh, shit. It's a sport more than just a sport. It's survival. Yeah, kind of a weak tagline as well. So there it is, guys. To the Death. Part 2 of American Kickboxer. All right, guys. Thanks for checking out the video. Break a window here. Haven't done that in a while. Feels good. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed me butchering the English language and forgetting basically everything that is English. I will catch you guys in the next video. Good luck out there finding whatever physical media that you are looking for. And Tight White will probably return in the next video, unless he wants to do this on his own channel, because he's returning the series, The Tight Package Show, and he's got an unbelievable 39 game PS1 lot that he's going to unbox next weekend. Hopefully he'll do it on my channel. If not, you're going to have to catch it on the Tight White's channel. But he's got some more video related stuff coming up on this channel, I'm sure, if he doesn't drop that. All right, guys, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace out. Or peace out! There we go. Got some energy now.